Welcome back. Daily show hitting you. 927, little bit of change. Alderwoman for the 2nd Ward. Only 3 months in. But Martha, how's life treating you right now?
Good. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying the role. I love hearing from constituents, feeling like I can help them also. It's just cool to see the process. I hear what's going on with them. I get in touch with the city. They know, our city staff and administrators at City Hall, like they're the experts, they know what's going on. So it's just, I like connecting people and seeing how things work. So
we're a couple of months into your first term. What's been kind of the learning curve for you? What's been the fun of kind of adapting to the role of an alderwoman?
Yeah, it's been a lot of learning city code, and it's the internet is great. It's I don't know how people would like a new older person. I mean, I just look it up. All the code is online, and I can search that. So that's really helpful. But yeah, I think learning what can be done, what can't be done, has been a big learning curve.
Well, and let's kind of dive right into the conversation, because the big thing that you've been able to accomplish, that we've seen, is that you're going to propose this ordinance. If you haven't done that already, I've been a little out of city business. It's about making sure that all liquor licenses end at 1 a.m. And I wanted to ask you, was that a decision that was made based on the conversations you've heard or been a part of, whether it's at city meetings or just from personal meetings within your ward, or is that something you thought about during your campaign, saying, hey, something's got to be done about this?
It was not something I thought about during my campaign.
Fair,
yeah, no, that's a good question. This is not what I expected to be the first resolution I brought forward.
Yeah, but it's a big one.
Yeah, so when I started having a lot of conversations with people, and so one of the helpful ones I had in June was with Police Chief Jarrett Ford, and so I had learned that a hearing would be coming up. I also was kind of learning about all of the complexities of our liquor licenses and like restaurant classes of liquor licenses, things like that, and I think those are important for restaurants to be able to have enough revenue to offer what they offer to the city. So I was doing a little bit of learning there, and I for me, a lot of this was about they were handling those 2 bars, but I also was hearing a lot about fairness, and it's not. There's just a lot of complex things going on. People saying it's not just our bar, it's another bar, wondering if these 2, that was up under the decision of the mayor, because he serves as liquor commissioner for the city. And so that was his decision based on, and he made a decision based on recommendations from others. But beyond, it was just kind of like, if that is taken care of, are those issues going to be elsewhere? Is it fair to everybody? Is it fair? And I also thought a lot about businesses that aren't selling liquor. What's fair to the boutiques and shops on Broadway that might be affected by a perception of violence, not just the violence, but this like reputation for violence.
Well, and see, that's the biggest thing, because I don't think it's fair to say every day or every week night of the weekend something catastrophic's going on. I don't think that's fair to say, but the bad outweigh the good when it comes to videos surfacing on social media, and really puts the community in a bad rap, because like I tell people all the time, Martha, we can't get new business if we're showing videos of people shooting each other or trying to, or fighting.
Right, yeah. The videos, it's helpful for people to know what's going on, but at the same time, I hate that those are all over
100%, because
Facebook,
we have 10 times the good that we do the bad.
I agree.
I think some people maybe construed my words a different way. It wasn't like, well, this isn't one bar's problem. It's a community problem.
Right.
It's here.
Yeah.
But I agree with the sense of we have to do something. So let's start trying to put these steps in place to get us safer. And whether or not it's closing at 1, and everyone else is right now, and I think that first report from the police department says good work, but also on your side of things to make sure it's fair, and saying, well, why don't we just put this ordinance out there that says nobody's open past 1, no matter what.
Yeah, and so, like I said, I was not planning to come in
That's
here
what I think so crazy, because the first year, I mean, this is one of the bigger ordinances that's been proposed in quite some time.
But I think campaigning or thinking about why I wanted to run, a lot of it was livability, and
I get you.
And so on one side, I want it to feel. I want things to be family friendly, feel safe, be inviting. I don't want a heavy police presence. I think police presence is great. Do I want to go though downtown and there's just like, I don't want it to feel like a prison. I don't want people to feel
exactly like you have to
unwelcome.
look over going, man, did I jaywalk just now type of thing.
So there's that side, and then there's also with livability, I hear a lot of people talking about speeding. We've in Ward 2, there's a lot of speeding on Albee.
Tons.
People
Elm Street, yeah.
Yeah, they want more sidewalks. They want to be able to walk around, have community. Those are things I do really care about. And if we are focusing all of our safety resources in one spot, that's not really fair to all these other things.
Well, and it's not fair to those police officers
Right.
either, because I feel like recently the police department's kind of taken the brunt of punishment when it comes to loitering and different activities that are going on in that district. And I mean, we've heard it before in the downtown safety meeting where it's just a number of resources compared to the number of people that are here.
Yeah.
And so to me, when you propose this, it makes sense. You're getting everyone on the same playing field. And Brian's been on the show saying, well, if everyone has to close, we're all good with it. Like we're all
Right.
100% fine. And I think, well, let's do that. And that's what you did with this ordinance. And when it comes to, keeping downtown safe, I think it's an all ward issue because, you can't have your main business district being affected if you want everyone in those other
Yeah.
wards to feel safe, happy, and healthy.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And so just to give background,
Yeah.
I have brought forth a resolution. So that was at last week's meeting. So it will be up for discussion at the next city or committee of a whole meeting.
When
And
is that should be soon.
Yeah, it's in August. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to say the date because if it's wrong,
Don't
I'll
do
feel
that.
bad.
It's
But
either on the first or second Wednesday of the month.
it's the committee of the whole meeting will be on a Monday.
Oh, Monday,
It's
yeah.
the yeah. So I'm not gonna mess up my
Trust me, I
words,
mess
but
them up all the time.
Then it will get placed. If it moves forward from there, it would be at a committee, a city council meeting to decide. To vote on. So I know people are like, how could she just? I have not. Nothing's happened. It's put on the agenda, and if it passes, bars would have until the end of the year to retain the license they've already been granted by the city, but it would expire at the end of the year, not be able to be renewed.
Well, and see, you have to all the people out there, and this is not a bias of me showing. It's just you have to do something in order to make progress. And if this is the right move, we'll find out in a couple of months.
Right.
If it's not, then we can adjust on the fly. But you have other bars that are volunteering, saying, you know what? Let's be a part of this change. Let's close at midnight. Let's close at 1 during the weekend or on the weekend. And let's make sure that we can do our part to keep the downtown district as clean as it can be. And, what are your thoughts just on what the police can see, what you guys can see when your downtown partners, like, whether you name the bar, are closing at the same time? What are you able to gather with that data? Is it understanding that, hey, there's still, if there are people loitering, they aren't going to these bars, or they're only here because these bars are open? Are you able to identify that?
Well, I do think it'll be important to see how many police calls or tickets have been made month by month. And then I think it's also important to just, like I said, I want us to be welcoming. So it's like if someone is out obstructing sidewalks, or they're obviously, if they are drinking from open containers, that's something I want to deal with. But I don't want to create this okay, as soon as you walk out the door, you can't be here anymore. It's not a curfew. It's not that that's, I think part of it is I don't want it to become the police have to round people up. And so if we can keep people from having those additional 2 hours of drinking more, making decisions that they wouldn't make if they had not been drinking those 2 hours, that I'm hopeful that would make a change.
And honestly, it's one of those things where you have to try something in order to make progress. And I keep going back to that because if you keep it the same, that's the definition of an insanity, is wondering why things aren't changing when you're doing the same processes. And a follow-up to that, the police department is doing everything they can. And I'm a big supporter of Alton Police Department. From their crisis management team to everything they do, I think that there's really some great nuances there that other local police departments around the area can take, even at the county level. Do you ever see it? In this first weekend, it was a very big positive. The police reported, hey, we had maybe 2 incidents out of, 100 people that were in the street. Everyone complied for the most part. Is there ever a chance or ever a situation to where Alton says, our police aren't matched up to 200 people. There's 3 or 4 police officers, maybe 7 in a crowd of 300. Do you ever see yourself looking at the mayor or looking at city council saying, can we call Madison County Sheriff in for more resources over the weekend? And is that appropriate?
I don't know that I'd be the right person to answer that
Totally,
question.
yeah.
I do know that there's some sort of system and they have asked for extra reinforcements.
That's good to know, actually.
Yeah, so I think that I don't want to misanswer that question, but in my opinion, I would rather try to stop the problems from happening than just increase security, have wands, have metal detectors, have more policing. That's my personal feeling on how to promote a more positive environment for small businesses. But yeah, that the question on bringing in more might be better.
Yeah, no,
for them.
No, and I think, but it's good to get that understanding from you and other council members on, what that looks like, because, this weekend was great, but we've also had 52 times 4 weekends of downtown Alton in different circumstances. And just to hear, what those opportunities could look like or what you see, and just to know, hey, there was a reach out for additional resources at one point in time. I think it's good for the public to know that you guys nobody's sitting on their hands going, well, let's see what happens this weekend.
And they do have additional patrol during those hours, but and that's at the cost of the taxpayers.
Exactly.
And so I'm not here to say this costs more, costs more. Like you could look at those different ways, but it is a resource that we pay for, and it also is probably not something that officers want to do weekend after weekend. Like, of course, they're police officers; they do what they're supposed to do, and they've got all kinds of things they have to do. But babysitting people at a bar is probably not always going to be what they want. No,
it's 100% not, and you hit it right on the head. I mean, babysitting to responding for calls for service are 2 different things, and I feel like our officers are kind of like, throwing their hands up going, we have all these different call loads. And I mean, we've seen the calls for service go out. We've seen those numbers in April. But I mean, even then, if you have 11,000 calls for service, but you have to spend 5 hours in downtown Alton just to patrol, I mean, it slows everything down. So I like this resolution of saying, why don't we just get this on the table? Yeah. At 1 a.m. or 12 a.m., we're done. It's just, let's get every liquor license under the same guidelines so we can move forward. And just from your conversations with other alder people, has this been something that they've kind of been adaptive to, saying, you know what, at committee of the whole, let's look forward to pushing this to the council? I
know that all of the aldermen see an issue that needs to be addressed. So I think some want to think about it, and I think it's responsible for the alder people to check in with, if they want to ask bar owners in their wards, or they want to hear from residents. Like, I totally respect that, and I think that's why we have 7 alder people on. So I know that I've had a few conversations, but I'm not really here to try to influence them. I know that's not what you're asking, but that's just kind of how I'm like, here's the information. Yeah. And it'll get voted on. And so I think that even having this come forward sends a message that, like, our community sees what's happening, and we don't want that to continue.
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of been the focus or the focal point of this conversation so far, is just to let people know, like, hey, we aren't waiting for something to happen. I mean, you guys knew about these. I mean, when you came into office, there's things going on. So it's just to hear, how city government's trying to accommodate these issues and trying to combat them at the same time, which is very difficult because, like you said, you don't want to make people feel like they're in a prison. You don't want to make people feel like they're walking cell block C to go get dinner or anything. But there's also preventative measures that are in place that have to be for right now. And I think that that's very important for the public to know about, is it's just kind of we're rallying the troops and getting everybody back and corralled. Yeah. Really cool. Hey, at 9:41, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with Alderwoman of the 2nd Ward, Martha Pfister, right after this. We're catching up on, well, I said year 1, but it's really month 3 of the term. And I'm curious to know just about some of the other nuances of City Council, all the other things you're working on. I know the audience was curious about this one first because was the big one. But we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with more at 9:41 and a little bit of change on this Wednesday morning.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelmarPublicHouse.com.
When you need a project done right, on budget, and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Bear Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. 947, back with Alderwoman of the 2nd Ward, Martha Pfister. And you recently started these ward meetings, and the first couple been okay?
Yeah, the first one was great. We held our first meeting in June, then we held one in July, and we're going to start moving to every other month to make sure that I've done enough things to come back and report on. Our first meeting, we had 20 people come, and we capped it at an hour, but there was a lot of feedback. There was a lot of people talking, maybe finding out that somebody lives on their street, they've got the same issue, asking me questions. So I felt like it was a really good back and forth. I didn't want to get there and just say a bunch of stuff. I wanted to really hear what people had to say and have a little conversation to help steer things going forward. So our next meeting will be I think it's September 16th. Like I said, I keep being concerned I'm going to say a day wrong. They're
That's
Tuesdays.
me every day.
They're going to be like the third Tuesday of the month.
You got it. It is September. So that was pretty impressive.
We'll do every other month for now. And I'd love to have, I know some of the other wards have meetings, and they might have someone from the police come or the public works director. And I would love to do that as well. Just help people.
Who is our public works director?
John Mitchell.
Okay.
So he's worked with the city for many years.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Heard that name.
The new public works director in May.
How do you grade not just yourself, but the overall council the first couple of months in?
I think it's been pretty good. We have a good mix of returning council members and new council members, and so I think also having the mayor in his second term and just that mix of experience, the meetings have gone well.
Well, and I know that you guys you've discussed just on the last couple of minutes of the segment, like speeding's been an issue in Ward 2. What are some other things that are kind of affecting Ward 2 that you'd like to talk about? Maybe try to let your constituents know that you see them, you hear them, and we're moving forward.
Yeah. So obviously potholes come up a lot, and that's something I'll need to learn about from the new public works director as far as, of course, we can patch things and fill things, but I'll need to learn a little bit about what his process will be going forward for paving streets. And then with things like the speeding, I've found it really interesting to find out from the city, what can we do that's not just a stop sign all over the place that someone's just going to run, but what are things we can do to naturally slow down traffic?
Well, not to cut you off, but this is one of the things that I run into, and this is something that we have all across the city right now, are these speed signs that say, hey, you're driving fast, but they don't do anything other than to alert the driver who's already speeding. We're driving fast, and it costs taxpayers $10,000, and now we took them out of ARPA and different things, but that money could have been allocated towards different resources. Do things like the speed monitoring signs, do they help, do you think, or is it enforcement that you think is going to get people to say, you know what, I do need to slow down? These are all residential areas in Ward 2.
I think that those speed signs do help some, because people don't realize how fast they're going. But do I have data on it?
No, it does. I shouldn't put you like that.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, I believe, I guess just anecdotally, I know when I see that, I think, oh, wow, didn't realize I was going that fast. So I do think that those help. We have, and I, when I'm at the meetings, we call them the speed thing, because I always tell them, I don't know what this is called. So we just say the speed thing.
That's fair.
I don't remember the name for it. But the city, the police, traffic patrol has been very accommodating to. We even have a smaller residential street in Ward 2, but where several people were complaining about speeding. So I don't know who's driving that way, but they put one there, and so the residents there were happy. I think it just shows that they're watching. Yeah. And then again, it's also the resources. We'd love to see police officers around driving, patrolling, and if we can kind of free up those resources to be everywhere, I'm hopeful that will help. But yeah, a lot of it is also just, we have, in Albee, we have this like a straight path with the hill, and it's very easy to speed there.
100%.
So
you don't realize you are half the time.
So just kind of learning what are some ways that we might be able to just, I know that like downtown that they had been doing some sort of looking at how do we slow down some of those streets with, narrowing the lanes. It's kind of like these self-defining streets that tell you to slow down, not just putting up a slow down sign. So,
yeah,
it's not the most like glamorous stuff, but I find it very interesting. So,
well, and now we talked about some of the serious stuff. Let's talk about some of the positive stuff that you've experienced as Alderwoman so far. What are some of those positive conversations, one of those positive interactions you like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, even at the last ward meeting, I had a couple tell me they were super happy that some trees have been taken care of on the street where they live. So it was really nice to just pass that on to Public Works and let them know that the residents noticed that. It's great when I, just put in a request to them to repair sidewalks, and then I see it repaired. Yeah. So, all I did was pass that information along, but it's just nice to see how that works.
What are your thoughts so far on the position? Are you happy with where you are? Is everything going well for you personally?
Yeah, I love the position. I love to be able to serve the city in this way. It just fits well into where I am with my experience and my schedule. So yeah, I think it's great.
Really cool. Well, Martha, it's always great talking to you. I think you've really worked hard your first couple of months as this role of Alderwoman to really learn the role and start. I mean, you're already putting resolutions forward and all of that. What's your final message to Ward 2 in the city of Alton for right now until you join us again and fill us in on the latest?
In Ward 2, I really appreciate when I hear from a resident. So I try to drive around. I want to see what's out there. But if something's going on in your neighborhood, on your street, let me know about it. And I will, get back to you. I'll see what can be done. But I really rely on everybody to let me know what the issues are. So
1,000%.
Yeah, just stay in touch. Come to a ward meeting.
And your next one's going to be on the third Tuesday of September?
Yes.
Really cool. And we'll link all of that in a write-up on RiverBender.com. But seriously, Alderwoman Pfister, it's been great to hear from you, and especially right after that resolution being proposed and all of that, to keep us updated, but also just to learn how things are going for you in Ward 2 these first couple of months in.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me.
We'll take a quick break. It's 9:54. We'll come back with Lacey McDonald and go back 100 years ago right after this on RiverBender.